So this is it. This is the old glaze, this is the new glaze, this is the old new glaze, this is sunrise. And we call it sunrise because it has a little bit of pink in it, but this glaze has a little bit too much pink. Now how much is too much pink? It's kind of personal, like apples are better than oranges or papayas are better than bananas, but since it's my glaze, it's my personal taste, and next time we're going to have just a little less pink. So to get a little less pink, we're just going to bump it up 5 degrees or so. When you're firing a kiln, the hotter it gets, the less matte and more shiny your glaze gets, and the less opaque and more transparent. In this case, less pink and more blue. But it's better to err on the side of caution and not burn the whole kiln load. Anyway, so we're working with this old controller we're talking about, and it was very old and very slow, and we didn't think of that because we're very old and never mind. Anyway, it's a 10-year-old or 12-year-old computer. And there's not many 10 or 12-year-old computers out there that are still working, and if they are working, they're very old and very slow. And we talked about time and temperature in glazes. So this old controller, when it fired the bottom very cold. And so when it went through the firing process with a cold bottom, the middle would get hot and the top would be not quite as hot, but anyway, the middle was always hot. And then the top was not quite as hot and the bottom was cool. So these middle and top would sit there for a long time waiting for the bottom to catch up, which gave it a lot more time than we thought of. And so it gave it a lot more temperature. And this controller fires very evenly. And so now we have a new controller. We know how to fire the broken controller. We'll have to learn how to fire a proper controller, but it was nice. It fires evenly all the way through. Anyway, so this is it. This is sunrise. I talked about the new old glaze. It's kind of interesting because I do have this bowl from a number of years ago. And I do have the stuff that came out of the kiln today. I can notice, probably maybe you can't with the camera, there's a slightly bit more pink, and this is a little bit hotter, but it's basically the same glaze today as it was, I don't know when we made this, years ago. Anyway, it's a very dependable glaze, and I like it in the kitchen because we call it bulletproof. I'm not sure how many people are shooting around their kitchen, but if you do shoot this, it's a bulletproof glaze. No, it's a great glaze. It's a very stable, durable glaze, and it sounds nice. When I was doing the sunrise last week, when I did sunrise years ago, I always splashed all the glazes on, and I was splashing the glazes on, and I'm not sure I like it anymore. So I'd be kind of curious what you think. This is a splash. This is kind of, it all runs very nicely together. But this is no splash. And again, splash and no splash. I'm not sure which one I like. And it's hard to have a personal taste if you just don't know. But anyway, you can let me know what you think. Splash, no splash, pink, and very little pink. Anyway, this is sunrise. This is it. This is what we're talking about. So what's going to go on today and this week is my pots are pretty well all caught up. I don't have a lot to get done in any time soon. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to do a lot of video. We're going to do upstairs video, the clay teacher with a nice little apron and the white backdrop. We're also going to do some studio stuff. We're going to talk about, we were talking about mugs a while ago. You haven't seen that, but trust me, we were. I'll put some handles on some mugs. We're going to do some 3 handmade tools. Anyway, we're going to do video all of today. And I've been speaking about glazed. But poor Jim has to stand there all day long. He'll get a chair, trust me, and listen to me talk. So if you want to see glazed, I should turn that camera around. Anyway, by the end of the day, I will have talked all day. I'll wake up Jim, we'll go home, and it'll be a day.